How do I even get on here? Oh, I can't even see how to see people on here. Hey. I don't even know if this is working. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm not too sure. Can you guys hear me? Anything? Can y'all hear me? Or am I being quiet? Hello. I see everybody saying hey. Okay, you guys can hear me. That's good. I just wanted to really just get on here, and I feel like I'm trying to do something weekly on my channel because there's a lot of things that happen that I never I don't get to cover or talk about because sometimes I'm just too busy with school or whatever it is. So I just want to make sure that like maybe once a week, I don't know if it's gonna be Tuesday nights like tonight. I just get on here and I'm doing like a Tuesday night, late night talk, and we can just talk about whatever comes up. Either I can bring up the topic from, just what's going on, or we can come up with something in the comment section and stuff. So let me go through the comments here. And if there's pretty much anything that anyone wants to start talking about in regards to just a conversation or my opinion or whatever it may be, you guys can go ahead and like leave all of that down below in the comments. Or on the live chat. And then I'll try and make this more structured where it's like I have a reminder set and I have like a decent thumbnail and you guys know exactly when I'm going live. That way anybody who misses it or wants to be a part of the live little late night talks, we can do that. Cause usually I get home around this time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm home earlier. So we'll find a time that works for everybody. That way we can make sure, everything's good. So let's see. Can you talk about toxic African parents for Black parents in general? I wouldn't say that my parents were none really toxic. They were just very strict. I feel like my Nigerian family, like outside family, I definitely think a lot of those people are very toxic. And I'm really realizing that now that I'm an adult. And I feel like there has to be a way that some of us African kids let people know that we're not the one to be played with, but in the most respectful way. Because for whatever reason, it seems to me like African parents literally are going to treat you like a 14-year-old until you turn 30 or to the day that you get married. I feel like they still try to like talk about your life or dictate your life, which thank you for being an involved parent. But some of us literally just like some of them are just doing too much. Like, I'm not trying to spill family business, but one of my cousins did something like very, very, very outlandish out of retaliation for how she felt about how her parents pretty much raised her, like in a toxic household. So I don't know. Eventually, we might end up fighting fire with fire, and that's the part that we don't want to get to. Let's see. I just got really angry with my family. How do you guys control your anger? Me, I used to have severe anger. I mean, I think like I probably still do. I get mad or be, you know, getting real choppy, getting real, what's the word? Just aggressive. I think you guys can tell from watching my videos, I can be very aggressive. And like, but I don't let myself get mad. The reason why I don't get mad is because sometimes I think about myself. I'm like, Chioma, you have a lot to lose. If you fight somebody, if you beat somebody up, if you get mad, if you throw a tantrum, like you have a lot to lose. Anybody around me can really tarnish someone who's working on building a brand. So I just kind of think of that and I just really let it go. I don't discuss things for more than like a day unless it's like something serious. Other than that, just let it go. You're my favorite YouTuber. Thank you. I could hear you talk about anything. I feel like I could ramble for hours. Are you into the CBD industry that seems to be heavily advertised on social media? I'm not too sure what exactly that is because I just I don't know. I just don't know. Like I know like they're putting it in a lot of stuff. I'd try it. I'm the type of person I'd try anything at least once. So I probably would try it. Somebody's trying to call me. Somebody's trying to call me. Um, Hopefully I wasn't paused there for a second. Let's see. Caribbean, what'd you say? Caribbean parents too. I'm from Guyana and my mom won't let me rest. Yeah. I feel like any foreign parent outside of America, honestly, is probably strict, whether it's Asians, whether it's Latino parents, whether it's Africans, Jamaicans, whatever. I have anger exercise. Every single time I get upset, I go take a shower though. For whatever reason, taking a shower will just calm me down. Um, can you talk about how some black people ignore black people that do terrible things like Bill Cosby and talk about how white men are still free and shouldn't be? Harvey Weinstein. Um, Me personally, I feel like most people really did not ignore Bill Cosby. I think he had way too many accusers for people to really sit up here and say that they weren't against him or didn't find what he did wrong. And for a collective of Black people, I don't really think that many people had his back as I thought they were going to have his back. Now, as for Harvey Weinstein, I just got the notification when I was in class earlier about him and what he was charged with. And I find it very, very, very peculiar that he basically got a deduced not sentence, but charges. I mean, there was like 2 charges that were dropped, and I think he only got 2 for sexual assault and like 1 for something else. So, I mean, that's just the American justice system protecting its noble, great white man. You know what I'm saying? That's just what happens. What would be the best way to deviate the toxic parenting? Communication. I feel like a lot of us African kids too, we need to stop being very scared of our parents. I know it's very hard to communicate, especially about certain topics like stuff like sex or maybe, I don't know, school or what you want, if doing something that's against the norm of being a Nigerian or whatever it is. So I kind of feel like communication, try to talk to your parents, try to make them understand you, even though it's not necessarily your job, but in a way, try and see where it goes. Because honestly, once I started putting my foot down on my parents and letting them know I'm not really the one, in terms of not in a disrespectful way, but like I'm not about to be sit here and be babied at almost 23. About certain stuff. I think my parents respect me as an adult. And you also have to put your money where your mouth is. I prove to my parents on a monthly basis that like I have an income, I pay bills, I pay a lot of stuff. And so therefore I can be, you guys do not have to be on my case like that. Okay. Even though they're still gonna do it. What else? What else do we have? You're one of my favorite YouTubers. Thank you, gorgeously Gabby. I listen to you rambling all day, sis. I swear I'm gonna ramble. I'm gonna ramble. My parents are really strict, and I think that's why I'm prone to anger. I feel like that too. I feel like I'm a middle child. I'm always very aggressive because of how my parents I felt were stricter on me about a lot of stuff, especially being the first girl. Can you talk about the Gail situation? I was looking at that and literally I was like, I didn't even know what to say because I feel like at the end of the day, she was doing her job. Was it very insensitive for her to ask questions surrounding that? But if we're being real, his legacy is going to be literally what 90% basketball and philanthropy and all the things that he's done. But that rape case was a major part of the early part of his career, and I don't think it's necessarily wrong to bring it up in a sense, but it was definitely wrong in the way how Gail did it. But I feel like she didn't deserve the backlash. She has a job to do. She's a journalist or whatever. She's going to talk about whatever she's going to talk about. People will protect people like that. But let's say I don't know if Kobe Bryant did it. We don't know. But let's say he actually did it. It's like, why protect somebody that did that? Even though, okay, the case has been acquitted. I'm fair. Me personally, I don't think any woman or anybody, but in this case, any woman who has ever been sexually assaulted, raped, molested, whatever, like myself, would not at least want to understand that situation. And I also feel like with that happening so long ago, most of the people that support Kobe, which is like our generation or people that are like my age and around my age, didn't even know that was like happening. I didn't even know anything about that case. So it was just crazy to me to know like, dag, like that happened too. So, yep, Harvey Weinstein got no jail time. That is white privilege. Roddy Ricch being a colorist, you guys gotta DM me, whatever that is, because I don't know anything about that. You look so good. Thank you. What happened to the video you were planning to make on Community Tab? I have the videos done. The video is literally ready to be uploaded. It was a sponsored video. Half of it was sponsored, so I'm waiting on the company. My video is literally, if I showed you guys, it's uploaded. It's not even me. I really wanted to post it yesterday instead of posting the video with Zay, but I posted the video with Zay because that video couldn't go up. Please talk about how to manage many things and still have time for yourself. A planner. I use a planner. I use a planner. I use a planner. I use a planner. Please use a planner. That's how I keep myself sane. I'm glad my parents are African because some of the stuff my American friends go through. I will say that too. I feel like there is some certain cultural norms within being a descendant of a slave Black American versus being maybe like a child of two immigrant African parents. I feel like I've noticed differences, even though there are a lot of similarities. But growing up, I'm like, there's certain things I'm like, kind of seem normal. But then when I speak on it, it's like, oh, you're African, you think you're better. And it's like, not really. Like I was born and raised here too. So I see both sides. Like I feel like in a Black American culture, there's a lot of norms that are really not the best things within the culture. It may not be a cultural aspect, but there's a lot of norms, such as teenage pregnancy, such as, avid, I don't want to say avid drug use, but like there was a crack epidemic in the 90s and it affected a lot of Black Americans. And we already know it's white people that put it into Black communities. So I feel like if anybody there is to be mad to white people, or like white people with power and money, because those are the people that have literally countless times put some form of something within the Black community. I was actually talking to Zay last week. We're having this political argument, and he was telling me how like Lyndon B. Johnson, which was like a president back in like the 30s, 40s, 50s, something like that, basically started the welfare program to basically ruin Black people. And he was going off on this whole, like, Zay is very smart. He's very into all that stuff. And he just was telling me about it. So I feel like at the end of the day, there are cultural norms that I've realized between Africans and Black Americans. But it's like when you start to make that distinction, people get mad and say you're trying to hate or you think you're better than, or why can't we bridge the gap? And it's like, we can bridge the gap, but we can also keep it a being too. So do you plan to move out soon? No, my lease is not up until July. And I don't even know what I'm doing. All I know, after college, I'm not going straight to law school. I think I'm going to do my master's online and do YouTube. And then after a year, I'll do the law school stuff. Your thoughts on blood family still kicking it and messing around with your ex? No. Let me tell you something. I feel like I was in this predicament. I know I was in this predicament, but it wasn't like me. So basically, the guy that I used to date back last year, I came to his house. I came to Virginia, where he was from, and I paid for like his whole birthday and everything. This was last year in April. Paid for the party, did all that. Was at his sister's house. We had a cookout. It was cool. His friends came, family came, whatnot. Tell me why. The very next week, it was at his sister's house, the sister and her wife. The very next week, sister and her wife invited his ex to, stop calling me, his ex to their house. So I'm just like, why are y'all still associated with his ex-girlfriend knowing that he has a girlfriend? That's why the whole family got cut. I had to take him off of my Facebook and everything. I feel like melanated people in general need to stop being afraid of their parents. Yeah, definitely. Like, I know we're supposed to respect them. My dad always told me, respect your parents, respect your mother and your father so that your days may be long. That's what the Bible says. But respect goes two ways, if you ask me. Give me a blue wrench. I'm like I'm never going live, so I don't really know what a moderator is and how that works. So we're going to do this again next week, probably, or maybe this weekend. And then I'll figure out how to do all of that. Can you talk about the negativity between Black girls in society? You got to be a little bit more specific because there's a lot of things I could talk about in regards to that. Ooh, I'm getting lost in the comments here. Evil girls, we too pretty, I beg. Haha, evil girls, you know they carry last, right? He was falsely accused. Who's he? Lashes are pretty. Thank you. These are really cheap lashes, actually. You a baddie. If my YouTube subscribers was up, I'd shoot my shot. Boy, you don't have to have no subscribers to talk to me. I'm not that type of person. People think I am. I don't care about that. Red Table Talk is the new Ayana Fix My Life. Ooh, I'm working on something really important. I don't think I could tell y'all about it just yet, but it has something to do with that. But I'll leave it at that. The rape case, a part of his legacy. She's a reporter. They're just mad because a black woman said it. Like, yeah, she said it wrong, but a black man said the same thing his case, about his case, and it needed to be brought up. That's what I'm saying. She has a job to do. I didn't see. Okay, she brought up a rape allegation. I think she should have just done it as an individual reporter. I don't think she should have asked the friend. To me, that's messy. Why are you asking a close friend of his about a time in his life that was probably very stressful, whether he did it or not, whether he was, wrongfully accused or really was the perpetrator of the whole situation? I don't think she should have done that. Gail should not have done that. But I don't see nothing wrong with reporting on something that's a part of someone's legacy, especially because that case, after I did my research, went on for like 2 or 3 years until they reached a settlement. So yeah, I feel like it's wrong and insensitive in terms of it's an emotional time where people are grieving. But from a journalist standpoint, I don't think she was wrong. That's just me. Gil was wrong, period. I knew about it because I had to write a paper about him. See, but people like me, I'm born in 97, I'm 22. Granted, back in 2003, 4, I was probably like in the first grade. I genuinely did not know. I'm working out while watching your lives. At least one of us working out because I need to go there. What book am I currently reading? For whatever reason, I've been reading the same book since the summer. I read the book in like I read the most of the book in like 2 days, and then I just never finished it. And it's been sitting at my nightstand for the longest, and I'm gonna finish it. But it is the Confessions of a Video Vixen by Corinne Steffens. Very, very, very interesting book. I will say that. Definitely not for kids, but very interesting. Did you hear about the situation in Indianapolis? If not, can I DM you the situation? Yeah, go ahead and DM me because I really didn't. I heard a little bit about it, but I didn't go into detail. Whites have ruined Black Americans. They have, and I feel like that's, you know what, y'all? I watched Roots for the first time in my life, maybe about a month ago. And ever since I watched Roots, when I tell you the whole Black American, African American, Jamaican, I don't care what type of Black you are. If you are a descendant of Africa from slave era, I don't care. I rock with you. That movie to me, and I watched the 2016 version, like the newer version. That shit, not to cuss. That shit though, that shit made me never want to have any divide with a Black American, Jamaican, I don't care who it is, because those people came from different parts of the world, but obviously mainly from Africa. They came from Africa, they were dropped off in different times of the world, but we're talking about America. Everybody on that ship was African. When Kunta Kinte even got to the plantation, and I'm Kunta Kinte, and they're like, you're Toby. And all the other Black people who've already got accustomed to the way how life is as a slave in America was trying to kind of help him out and understand how things go. That to me showed the Black American and the African right there. It was a representation like, Africans came to an unknown land and had to abide by rules. Every Black person, I don't care if it's a descendant of slave. I have somebody in my comments right now that's been trying to argue with me all day that I'm not Black. I don't know what the hell you call this. I'm Black. But it just made me never, ever want to do this whole divide and fix it. Like, I'm not even going to go on a tangent. I couldn't even finish watching it because I was so moved. Meanwhile, white people are statistically on welfare more than any other race. That's true, but there's more white people in America, true. So remember that. There's an opioid epidemic under the radar affecting the white community. There is, and my parents, I'm in Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, like the whole Montgomery County of Ohio has a very huge opioid epidemic. And my mom is a nurse and she tells me about it on the daily. African Americans, hold on, where we at? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Thank you, Destiny. Who is it? I somehow lost all the comments, y'all. Free wig. We could do a free wig. African Americans like me stay in my lane and only worry about things I can control. I mean, talking about stuff doesn't mean that you're either too worried or not worried. I feel like anybody can talk about anything. Just respect other people's opinions. Which Bronner foundation do you use? I use the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, but I've been realizing it's really heavy and I only wear it to go out because that's like full coverage. So I started using like a drugstore one, which was the Revlon Color Stay mixed with I think it's the Black Opal. but I'm gonna try the Lancome Tanti Doll. I'm about to buy that soon and see if I like it. Did you know Planned Parenthood was started by a KKK member for the population control in Black communities? Any thoughts? I didn't. I think I didn't know that, but let's be real. How it started is not how it finished, and it's not how it is now. Meaning, Planned Parenthood has been somehow being a service to people who want to use it as a service for years. I understand the origin of things may not be good, but I rather focus more on how it is now and if it's helping to affect positively or negatively. That's how I feel. Even though that, like, because to me, it's like, okay, if we don't support Planned Parenthood, then our community is still affected regardless of how it started or not. Ooh, you're writing to me in French. I like that you're writing to me in French. I have French class every day, so can't really translate though. Black people and mental health, just, ooh, it's such a stigma. But I'm happy that we're in a day and age that mental health is just becoming like so much more like better to talk about, like not a stigma, or there's more help for it where it can diagnose it. But I don't like that people use it to play on people's emotions. Like that's just so weird to me. Do you believe Black people can't be racist? I think Black people can't be racist by definition. They can't, because you can't, the oppressed is not going to oppress the non-oppressed. So by definition, if racism is saying that it's a form of oppression by the superior race over the non-superior races, then by definition, Black people can't be racist. But in general, Black people can be racist because Black is a race and you can be racist against another race regardless of the race, if that makes sense. Instagram models influencing the youth. I'm going to do a video on that. Let me move on. I'll do a video on that. Parents are to be respected, but children should not let them run over you. I agree. Is this your hair or wig? Looks really cool. This is a wig. It's not the best because I'm high and I just came from modeling practice. This is a wig. One sec. What are those lashes called? I'll figure it out. 1 second. We have Darius in the building. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's see. Oh, we got Darius in the building. Shout out to one of my homeboys. Let me just scroll to the bottom. I'm sorry if I missed y'all comment because I had to keep going. Where are we at? I'm sorry I have to burn the cape. I love Black people, but we are so destructive towards each other, especially with Black men. They don't care about us. I agree. Sorry, I just had to run. I agree. I really agree. How do you feel about interracial dating? I don't care about it. I don't think there's a problem with it. I just feel like when you have to disrespect another race to justify why you interracial date, you're stupid. That's just how I feel. Black men have a lot to do with the state of the Black community, for sure. Okay. Yes, get the book, get the Confessions of a Video Vixen. I don't even know where it is, but get that book and read it. Because I'm not gonna lie, people probably gave her flack for the book, but I respected her so much for that book because she just was real. Like, I think now if she would have written the book in 2020 or like within the past 5 years, she would have gotten a lot more respect and a lot more encouragement and a lot more support. But back then in like 2005 or when the book came out, people back then, you couldn't expose people like that. You couldn't talk about yourself having mental issues. You couldn't talk about yourself being a sexually expressive woman. Now you can. Here we are. What else? But the gag is most of us were already here in America. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Where can I get a wig? Everyone always asks me about wigs. At Wigs by Queen Chioma on Instagram. And then I don't sell wigs that often because when I sell them, they sell out and then I have to wait for me to get some more hair to keep selling. So good night, Essence. Girl, I'm in the chat. What's the T? Just Google Margaret Sanger. Oh, yeah. Okay, then I did know that. I definitely did know about her. How you feel about B. Smith? Honestly, I don't really know too much about the situation. I don't really know that side of like entertainment. I would have to do research. Let's see. Kat Fondi is a sympathizer, just saying, sis. You guys just be knowing the history of every product and brand. Jeez, let me know. Planned Parenthood is telling girls not to get abortion, from what my friend said. Not to get an abortion. So I have to do more research on this. I can't even talk about it. Can we talk about ignorance within the community? I just told this one Black dude my family was Jamaican, and he said I wasn't dark enough to be Jamaican or of Jamaican descent. People used to tell me that I don't look African. Whatever an African looks like, I don't know what an African looks like. I think people will have a mindset in their head of Africans looking like whatever they see on National Geographic. They think Africans live in huts, Africans swing from vines, Africans run around with sheepskin clothes covering just their private areas and have no form of communication, no technology. They think Africans don't wear shoes and they walk on dirt paths. And Africa's and animals with giraffes, lions, tigers, bears running around in the open as if they're pets, as if they're domesticated animals. Like, I don't know what people's conception is of Africa, being as a whole continent, but there's places like that in the United States where it's just open field, random animals running around. Like, there's mountains, there's all of that. Like, I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know, especially Black people. Most white people won't even talk to me that ignorantly, but it's usually Black people that say something like, oh, you don't look African. So I'd be like, okay, what does an African look like? Oh, you're not Black as fuck. Big nose, big lips, teeth yellow. And like, I'm like, that's what I mean, there's Africans that look like that, but there's also like, there's a lot of people that look like that. Like, that's not exclusive to being an African phenotype or whatever. Okay, hold on. Let me come down here. Uncle Darius, they hype for you. They hype in the building.
I just got done with a video dragging the hell out of her.
Okay, yep. Darius just got done with a video dragging Bad Baby.
Hopefully it's up before 11.
What's the hotline is blinking? No, it's not. That was my friends calling me. She said it must be nice. Where's my phone anyway?
Okay.
It was Darius calling me and my one friend. Would you date a white Asian guy? I want to date whoever treats Chioma like a queen. Like, it's Queen Chioma for a reason. That's who I want to date at this point. Like I'm seeing somebody right now, but like, sheesh. Like, it's cool, but it ain't nothing to talk about. The Vixen Manual is a good book. Corinne Stephens, I think she's very smart. Hey, Steph. That's going to be one of my first moderators. I know I'm late catching up on all these comments. Talk about the diaspora wars. I feel like Black people need to stop trying to separate each other based on continents we were born in. At the end of the day, we're all Black. I tried to tell somebody that today. Someone's like, you're not Black American. I said, LOL, okay, still Black. And they were like, but you're not Black. And I was just like, okay, so I see you're stupid, but I'm not going to talk. I didn't even respond back after that. I go to school in North Dakota, and I hate it when people talk about Africa like it's one country. I don't know where people get that from. Like, oh my gosh. Did you already talk about Harvey? Yeah, I did talk about Harvey Weinstein for a little bit. OMG, Black people were not originally from America. Tell the two woke hoteps to go to bed with them lies. Thank you. Even white people weren't originally from this place either. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Karina Brooks. Chioma and Darius, love your channel. Thank you. Thank you for $5. Really appreciate that. Black people from the suburbs who pick on people in the hood. I feel like it's the other way around. Because people call me white. My hood friends call me white. And I'm like, okay. Thank you. Because I speak well, now I'm white.
I went to a hood school. People think I'm white.
Let's see. I don't know what happened to you. Let's see. Thank you, Black Jesus. Finally something we can't catch. Highly melanated and favored. I know that's right. Chioma chats with Darius. We filmed today. We filmed earlier.
Period.
We filmed earlier, so I probably dropped that by Thursday or Friday. The video you posted about your ex from high school, if someone went through the same thing and was trying to hold on to them, what would you advise them? Because guys push you away but try and come back to you. I've talked to 4 guys through college, right? This is my 5th year. I talked to 4 guys. Wasted my time with all of them, trying to hold on to something that wasn't there. I'd tell you to move the hell on. Or be a player. Not like a hoe, like, you know what I'm saying? Just play a player. Good night, unique queen. The gag is that our huts are bigger than most of the houses in the States. Definitely. Way cheaper labor, bigger houses, more people, that's more quality of the construction that's being done. Yes, Africa, it has a deficit of many things as a whole. So, but there's so much wealth and raw natural resources and like oil and gold and stuff like that that's within Africa that is being, what's the word, exported to the United States. Like, not everything in the United States come from China. I know a lot of things come from China, but like when it comes to natural resources and things like that, United States or just America literally reaches out like to some of these African nations that for whatever reason people are always thinking has nothing. Like, how could a whole continent that's bigger than the United States, bigger than North America? If you ask me, Africa is probably bigger than the biggest continent, but they say it's not, but whatever. How can they say it's Asia, but for some reason I don't think that's true. But how could a whole continent for whatever reason have inhabitable conditions, that there's wild, like I just don't understand how people think that. I just don't get it. I don't get it. LOL, look at what I said. I said we derive from Africa. Have you looked into this? Or are you just talking? I don't know if she's talking to me. Can I send you something on Instagram? You guys, my Instagram and Snapchat is always working. I see a lot of things, but I don't see everything. So sometimes you really just gotta resend it. But like, I have a lot of requests. Hey, love you. We are all one. That's what I say. After watching Roots, we're all the same people. We all come from somewhere. I feel with Black Americans, we all pick on each other because this place is not for us. But you do realize us as Black people, period, can take over this whole thing if we got on one page. White people literally are on one page. We're on 50. Would you take Darius with you to Nigeria? That'd be a tough vlog. Of course. When I get my money up. When Darius goes to league, we going to Africa. Yeah. Sometimes people who know how to articulate themselves will intimidate those who don't. Don't dumb yourself down for anybody. Yeah, I don't. Like the video that I did with Zay, a lot of people said like he sounds like whatever, like he sounds like what they said sounds dumb or whatever. But like Isaiah is a very smart person, and I try to tell people that, but like nobody, I don't know. I'm always about to sit there and argue with people who don't know him. And I understand first impressions or whatever. Like you see this guy, but he got a thick accent. He's from the hood in Florida and the country and everything. But when it really comes down to it, like when I first met him, I was like, well, what's something that people underestimate about you? And he said people underestimate how intelligent I am. And I honestly did, because listening to him, I'm like, boy, this boy probably country ghetto. He probably don't know a damn thing. He'd be putting me onto certain stuff. He tells me about politics. He tells me about social issues. We've talked about Black Lives Matter. We've talked about Colin Kaepernick. He wants to do unpopular opinions on my channel. But I'm
that is only for me.
But I feel like he's too gutter. Like he's gonna say some really unpopular opinions, but he's gonna back it up, which only matters. So maybe, but yeah. Did you hear about Bad Baby trying to fight Scott? Yep.
Oh, yep.
Yes.
Just got done with a video about her. Dragged the fuck out of her.
Yep. Thank you, Aisha Monique, for the $5 super chat. Do you find professors/educators trying to hold you back? I went to an all-Black school, including professors. I found it to be the case. I've never even had a Black teacher in my life. So I feel like some professors not necessarily try to hold you back, but they don't do their job. And some of them genuinely care. I've also had some professors that genuinely care about my education.
Yeah,
oh, shoot.
Well, from kindergarten to 8th grade, I had a Black teacher pretty much every year.
I didn't.
Once I got to high school, I transferred from an all-Black school to a white Catholic high school, and I had 0 Black teachers while I was there. No, it was no Black staff. no black counselors, no
Mm.
black custodians, no black lunch ladies, no black nothing. It was just us black students. And most of the students, most of the black students were Africans.
Yeah, that's how it was at my high school. Well, no, most of them was from Baltimore. That's why I feel like sometimes when I talk, I be sounding like I'm from Baltimore, but I'm not. And then the rest of them was really just Africans, or you were from Philly like me. But when you moved on from the guy, you were off and on with. He tried to come back at you. I don't know if that's guaranteed for every woman. Did he try to come back to me? Nope. Yeah, I told you he's dating some white girl. I don't care what that man is doing. I moved on. When it came to a point where I'm like, Chioma, you are so fit. One thing I'll say this, as toxic as this sounds, sometimes it's best for you to stay in your situation until you grow tired, because then you can leave and leave strong and leave for good. As bad as that sounds. Amari, we ain't giving out that rotten milk. Giving that rotten milk any she's talking about that baby. She said we ain't giving that rotten milk any attention. She won't touch Sky anyway, anyhow. Yeah, she's so like, I can't wait till she turns 18 so I can really talk about
nowhere. All people, Sky Jackson.
Sky Jackson, like
that girl didn't even give her the time of day.
Right. You'll say rotten milk.
She need to go back to the hole she came from.
Please. And her mama too. Them rats. It's all we're shown in America. If you don't do your own research, of course, you're going to think Africa's poor. Right. That's what they say in the textbooks. What do you learn about Africa in grade school in America? You learn about slavery. That's it. You don't learn about anything else. You don't learn about resources. You don't learn about countries. I can't point to a country on the map and say, hey, I know what country this is based off looking at a map of Africa. They don't teach you about that. They'll go and teach you about Czechoslovakia and all that, not saying that nut shit, but all that shit that nobody cares about. Who the hell is ever going to Czechoslovakia? Nobody. I'm not going to Czech Republic. I'm not going to none of that. But for whatever reason, that's what I'm learning.
Like with me, I was fortunate to go to a black school. The school I went to was called Afrocentric. And we expressed, like, pretty much, we learned about being black. We learned about our black history, what black means in this country, where we came from, all that. Then once I got to high school, anything black related, it was just about slavery. Same. And I didn't really learn more things about black history until I got to college, when I was in this Africana Studies class.
Yeah, the same. Until I got to 11th grade, then we learned about like civil rights. We had learned about civil rights before, but I remember 11th grade, I took like a world history 2 or like history 2, and we learned about civil rights, and it was like a timeline up until present. And then I think almost every black student at this school takes Africana Studies, and then you learn about the same thing. Then that's where you learn about like Stokely Carmichael. That's when you learn about Malcolm X. That's when you learn about all that stuff. And it's just like, why am I learning this as a freshman in college at 18 and not at 8? Where we at? Where are we? When I was a freshman in high school, there were a group of Jamaican guys talk about the teacher in patois. I turned around and told them stop talking about him like that. Chioma, their jaws dropped. Oh, they didn't know you were Jamaican, or they didn't know you could understand patois. You see, he sounds just like a Floridian. Then again, I'm from Florida. That's what I'm saying. Them people from Florida talk like that. Everyone's like, I can't understand his accent. I'm like, damn, like
I understand it.
I'm around him so much. You're around a lot of people from Florida on a daily. I'm around him so much, so it's like I be translating. But it's just like, damn, to say somebody's non-intellectual because they have an accent, to me, I took offense only because I know my parents have accents. And I know my mom has told me stories where people will make fun of her because of the way how she talks. And I feel like Americans do it a lot. You see something foreign, you may like the culture, but like when it comes to that person, the way how they talk, all of a sudden it's like bad. Even though Florida is in America, but whatever. What are your thoughts on Kobe's tribute, even though he was a sellout? I didn't see it yet.
Follow-up question, how is Kobe a sellout?
They basically saying he's a sellout because he never really advocated, did anything, or talked about Black women. But was he obligated to? No, he was not obligated to. It would have been nice, but I mean,
just because you rich and famous doesn't mean you got to talk about every.
That's true. You don't have to be an advocate, because I feel like also stop making people like Kobe Bryant, Kanye West, hell, some of these Instagram influencers, T.I. I think those people shouldn't even be the advocates for Black community because they are entertainers within their own respective, realm. Like, let people that actually want to advocate and do it for real, do it for real. Let's see. Someone says cis Asian.
You never know. He might be doing something behind.
He might. He doesn't. And there's a lot of things you don't have to post everything. But I mean, we don't know. Cis Asian quicker than quicksand. It's 2020 and this bitch is still 16. Talking about I don't know what's wrong with that girl. Like, I really thought she'd be 18 by now. Africa is financially poor but resource rich. I can say that too. But I feel like their government structures in some of the countries can be very greedy, which is hindering their I guess you could say their advancement as like a global power, certain countries. What are you doing after college? Getting money. Shout out to you from the Bronx. Shout out to the Bronx. I'm from Florida and I can tell he got that ignorance down there talking about we got to talk for 6 months to be official. Nah, see. These are that. No, I don't think he said it like that. I think he was saying like, he said after 3-4 months, if a girl isn't sexually with him, he's gonna feel like she is just not into him. Which that's just, I've heard guys say worse than that. I've had a nigga told me 3 weeks. If a girl doesn't fuck you in 3 weeks, all of a sudden she's not. That's what a guy told me that. I've heard guys say way faster than 3-4 months. 3-4 months to me is I can almost respect that, even though it's still up to the woman.
To be honest, with me, as far as I'm concerned, after a month and we all talking and all that, and we initiated, we a thing, that's when I'm done with the talking stage, and you my girl or whatever. Yeah, that I can't do 3-4 months of the talking stage.
I mean, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. To me, after 3 months, there's no talking. I'm moving on. Yeah. After 60 days, but people are like, oh, you have to get to know somebody. You can get to know somebody in 60 days.
I think a month is a good.
A month you can get to know. I'm not saying you have to jump into a relationship in a month, but you're gonna know if you like somebody within 30 days. Right. If you ask me. Now, for me, within 2 months, I'm gonna know if I like you. So once we come up with that 90-day mark, that 3-month mark.
If I'm not giving you that energy, move the fuck on.
And my thing is, if you are giving me the energy, but you haven't physically or made the title or whatever, I'm not about to sit here and be confused. I'm not gonna ask you what are we, because what are we? We ain't nothing. So let me move on. Period. Moving on. I'm from Florida. I could tell. Oh, I already read that one. Who bad baby want to fight? Sky Jackson. Advice for interns such as myself because my internship shucks. My internship, oh my God, I'm not gonna say I hated it, but sitting in that office, I was like, I would never work an office job. It was quiet. Everyone's in their cubicle, just working on their laptops. There's barely any interaction. I'm a social butterfly. I talk. I was like, yeah, no. But like the actual going out, doing the job part was very rewarding. So I kind of just had to suck it up because it was for a school credit. I'm glad Bad Baby's being canceled. I never said about African countries. Black teachers care, but they don't, to be honest. She is always starting stuff for no reason. She's basically famous for acting like a stereotypical Black girl. And when he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl. That's true. You're lucky you didn't go to Nigeria secondary school. I'm very lucky I didn't go to Nigeria for no school. That's what I thought. What that was about. I thought you were from Baltimore. No, I'm not from Baltimore. I just have so many friends from Baltimore. I went to school near Baltimore, like high school. You need to stop giving people our energy. Caught my mixtape, nigga. We come on now. Someone says that Darius. Yes, a Black man just like to have sex. Yeah, I think all men at the age of 16 to like 30 are just horn buckets. I don't think a lot of guys really understand it. Can't like they can control it, but it's like mentally they don't even control it. I think there's something wrong with men. I think there's something wrong with men. Where we at? This one went way fast. Okay. Y'all remember them infomercials of little poor dirty kids, Africa low key, like Wakanda in real life. Yeah, you see the ones. And for 9 cents a day, you can support Zumba. Zumba is a kid in Zimbabwe. For 9 cents a day, you can help him and his family eat. Bitch, if you don't put that camera somewhere else, what's wrong with you? Like, come on now. Do you know how much money it takes to make a commercial? That whole entire time you guys could have donated. Like, they tried to paint Africa as the poorest, dirtiest, trashiest, undeveloped place. And there are places like that.
There's places like that.
But there's places like that in the United States. Hell, there really is.
Shit.
I don't know what's wrong with them. Said, Chama, you so funny. Yeah, I think I'm funny. That's why I ain't giving the white trick attention. She finna catch these flying tracks once I snatch it out of her hair. Little girl needs a good whipping. Yeah, bad baby needs that.
She need a good old black ass whoop.
Just crank it back. And
I said, once a black woman beat her ass, we won't hear from her.
We won't. She gonna be quiet for a little bit. They don't want us to know about Africa as mass propaganda. Completely agree. Dr. Phil ain't slick. He exploits people. He intentionally brings people on his show to profit off their mental health issues. I see right through his BS. I agree with that too. I definitely agree with that too. Right. Never teach us plus Darren theory is not proven. It's proven not true for Africans, only Neanderthal white people. Ooh. What is your opinion on dating? Do you think there's nothing wrong with dating, but taking a break from a relationship and seeing what it's like, or clearly not focus on anything and waiting? I mean, right now I'm talking to somebody dating, I guess. So like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just feel like don't put all your eggs in one basket. You can have respect for the person that you're dealing with, but also know that until it's official, that's just your little friend. What we need is more black men and black women in STEM so they can have jobs. I agree, but STEM is just not for me. Self-education is key. People should use their public library before they make that illegal. What do you think Malika is going to do to a surgeon for her post-baby body? I don't know what the girl's going to do. I just think it's weird to go ahead and be thinking, okay, after I have this baby, my body's going to get messed up. So let me go ahead and try and fix it now, or at least put the consultation in now, even though I don't know what my body's going to do after I have my first child. That's weird to me. Look up how all the Smithsonian Roman sculptures were whitewashed to look less ethnic. I believe it. I believe it. You'll say Florida stand up. Fort Lauderdale stand up. South Florida rise up from the ghetto. Y'all funny as hell. Kobe never spoke on Black issues. He definitely didn't, but like I said, nobody's obligated to speak on them. You can't force your faves, or even if that's not your faves, you cannot force anybody who you look up to or feels like is a prominent figure to speak about things, because not everybody is honestly that informed. Me, I personally go looking for stuff. I do my research. I follow trends. I follow certain pages. I keep up what's going on because I have an actual genuine interest, but not everyone does. And granted, more people should be less ignorant, but there's no obligation to be an advocate for any topic whatsoever, unless you take on a leadership position and you have to do that as your job title. But as a basketball player, he is to be playing basketball. He doesn't have to speak on these issues. It would be nice, but at the same time, what is an athlete like LeBron James or Kevin Durant or James Harden or whomever? What is their opinion on black or social issues? How is that going to determine anything within their career, or let alone my personal life? I don't think they pay that much attention to what's going on because their career is focused on other stuff. And I'd rather them either focus on one or the other. If you're going to be an advocate, be an advocate. If you're going to be a basketball player, be a basketball player. You have all freedom to do both. But if your $1 million checks is coming from the NBA, stay in your lane. Let's let the people who genuinely want to advocate. That's how I feel. I also think we need to stop putting people on a pedestal, period. Yeah, but like there's people like us, like our camp, like people in this live, that know not to put people on a pedestal. But there's other people who are already brainwashed. They just don't know any better. I think he was obligated to. If he got a platform, he needs to use it for good. But he has a platform to play basketball, not to talk about social issues. That's how I feel. If we would just get rid of Buhari, the Nigerian government would be great. Somebody reached out to me to talk about like Nigerian government and something that one of the government officials said about like the Nigerian youth being low-key useless and lazy, and they wanted me to talk about it. But because I'm just not tuned in with what goes on in Nigeria, not that I don't necessarily have an interest, but I'm just more interested in what's going on in my own country. It's kind of like I don't really talk too much about that stuff, but I'm definitely interested in learning more. Is it true that Chinese men are marrying African women trying to take over their countries? Probably. I don't put nothing past the Chinese. I'm sorry, but I don't. Hey girl, love your channel and your realness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Francisca Owosu. Are you Ghanaian? Is that Darius? 2 months. The modern scramble for, whoa, this is gonna keep moving. I only have like 10 minutes left on here. I'm reading old comments, y'all. I'm behind. You're like, what comments is she reading? But I'm trying to get to like all of them. Internships are scams. Stop doing free work. Yes and no. I agree. Yes and no. It's not a scam, and I think people should be paid for their work, but I definitely think experience is a great teacher too. But you do get experience from being paid at working. So I can see what you're saying. Entertainers are not Black leaders. Thank you. I saw on the internet that Diddy and Lauren had a thing going on. Lauren, check that real quick.
I got one thing to say. When did people like T.I., Charlamagne the God?
Not Charlamagne.
Charlamagne.
Not Charlamagne.
Whatever his did, see the God. When did we ever put them as the spokesperson of Black people?
I don't even know how I think they like acquired the title. Like, I feel like they just did it to do it. Like
first of all, fuck whatever.
Charlamagne, really?
Whatever. Fuck him. T.I., I don't really have a problem with him. But like
someone said nobody's obligated to speak on certain issues. I think y'all need to stop looking for leaders and be a leader your damn self. I agree, because I could have been quiet all these years, and then I started speaking like, hold on, I got some stuff to say. And then, I mean, I don't know if people consider me a leader or advocate. I just think I'm on here talking about some real shit. But yeah, internships about getting experience and networking. Just because they may not pay all the time does not mean the experience won't be beneficial. Yeah, I agree with that. The only semi-good countries in Africa are Kenya, Tanzania, and Rwanda. Every country is dealing with government issues, which is sad. But isn't America dealing with a government issue? So, I love you, Chioma. You are such an inspiration to Black girls like me. Thank you, Gabriella. Connections. Thank you for the $5 super chat, the Nigerian princess. Thank you. I'm trying to read everything. The Chinese see Africa as a valuable resource. They post enough Chinese men marrying African women to divorce them to do business. I mean, don't fall for it, though. Stay in your place. You African woman, stay in your place. Don't fall for it, if that's the case. So, like, when ASAP said he's a rapper, not an advocate for Black people. Exactly. And he had I don't think he was wrong for that. He said, I mean, she had said it in that stark way to make it seem like he just didn't care about what was going on. But if he doesn't give a fuck, he doesn't give a fuck. I don't think there was anything wrong with being like, I'm a rapper. I live in Beverly Hills. You feel me? I wish to not really report on certain topics because, yes, they may be important. And I'm not saying they're not important to me, but I don't want my opinions to be the spokesperson or any form of thoughts on a situation that has nothing to do with music. He's in the music industry. What does black stuff, that stuff does affect him. And I'm pretty sure all of these Black people are aware of it, even with the privileges that they have now. They have money. But I don't feel like every celebrity entertainer, especially people who are rapping about fucking hoes and dogging bitches and smoking and drinking lean, I don't think those people and selling drugs and they coming up from the gutter and I don't want those people to be sitting up here talking about some Black Lives Matter advocate movement. Like, do your own stuff as a civilian of the United States. You can say and do whatever. Exercise your First Amendment right. Exercise your freedom of speech, press, religion, assembly, and whatever else. But you don't have to be an advocate. You can stay in your lane. That's how I feel. Let's see. Charlamagne is a troll. I definitely think he is. People expect too much for celebrities. Sometimes you have to be your own inspiration because a lot of these celebrities are nothing to look up to. Absolutely. And I feel like that's why I emphasize a lot of confidence within the self because, you know, you can have your role models and people that you look up to because that's good to have that. But don't get so washed into these people that you don't even have a self of your own. Because the reason why I even established Queen Chioma is because at that point when I was establishing this channel, before it was even a commentary channel, I had already gone through the whole like trying to figure out who I was or trying to figure out what I wanted to fit in, who like getting bullied and all the 9 yards. And eventually, like after you get bullied for so long or people talk about you or whatever, you kind of just be like, you know what? Fuck y'all bitches. It is what it is. And then Once you do that, you realize when you stand up to the bully, people don't mess with you. So then I came my own person and I was able to translate that into YouTube. I feel like people need to look within themselves, really build the confidence. Like, I know I am not a 10 out of 10. I know I'm not the prettiest of the packs. I know I'm not the baddest of the bitches. Okay. But I feel like I am. And that's all that matters to me. That in my head, I'm gonna walk into a room and always feel like I'm the baddest bitch, even if I'm not. I'm always thinking I'm not even 10 out of 10. I'm 12 out of 10, even if I'm not. I just feel like it's not cocky. You have to do that. Because when people try to talk about you, especially on social media or in the real world, judging, nothing gets to me. Like, people be like, oh, you're so sensitive. You always address controversy. No, I just be snapping back because it's my personality. Okay? It's my personality. You come for me, I come for you. I didn't send for you, so don't come for me. People take it the wrong way. Nah, you need to always think you are the baddest. Not in a cocky way. Do it in the most humble way. Don't matter what the situation is. I don't care what you look like. I have insecurities. My skin is not the best. Okay. I have spaces in my teeth. My nose is big. You feel me? Yeah, my hair ain't real. My face is chubby. I could use some Kai Bella in my chin. You feel me? Oh well, still feel like I'm one of the baddest. That's how you're supposed to feel about yourself. Don't let anybody ever tell you less than yourself. Period. 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 Let me keep reading these comments. We only got about 5 minutes. Someone say y'all want to sell pussy for free, so why should I sell my intellectual property for free? A lot of people sell the pussy for free. I don't know. I have to catch up. I was trying to catch up on everything. Do you listen to My Chemical Romance? No, I'm not sure what that is. Charlotte McGlot.
Oh, did you watch All American?
I did. I watched All American, but I fell asleep. The last episode I watched was they went on the college tour to USC.
Okay. So I think last episode.
Yeah, I didn't watch the one that came on yesterday.
Yeah, this past episode, nothing really happened. It was just.
I love All American.
Yeah, All American. If you're not hip to that show, you need to get.
Definitely need to watch All American. Love All American. My favorite shows are All American, Teen Mom, Young and Pregnant. Love that show, and Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders. I don't watch nothing that's crazy. I don't watch Love and Hip Hop. That should make me mad. That shit toxic. That shit toxic. I like to watch things that make me happy. Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, All American, Teen Mom, Young and Pregnant. I don't know why. Those are just my shows. Where we at? What are your thoughts on Dwayne Wade and Gabby Union parading Zion? They dead wrong.
If you're on here, I dropped a video about that situation. So if you're not after this live, go check that video out. My take on it is that I personally think they kind of are enabling they're
enabling
daughter.
The scrutiny. I wouldn't have even put this out.
Like, I would have kept this private, and I think he's too young to make that type of decision.
I mean, if he wants to start transitioning, so be it. But legally, you can't even do like the gender change or gender. Yeah, the what do you want to call it? Bottom surgery, top surgery, stuff like that. You can't do that until you're 18. But I mean, you can still transition. And to transition, it takes a long time to get those hormone treatments. And I kind of feel like, I don't know. I just feel like at 12 years old, your body probably isn't even ready. I mean, you can do it.
And you don't truly know who you are. Like,
at 12?
I'm 21, and I still don't know who I am.
But at what age do we decide that we're straight and or gay and or bisexual?
Oh.
I don't even know if people ever really decide. Like, I don't know how that works. That's why I feel like, sexual orientation, I would really want to understand more about it. Because that's a good question. How do you even know you're straight, gay, bi, whatever, How do you know? Is it just from what you see around you? Is it just, because I don't agree with that either, because I was raised in a, straight family upbringing, but I could have still ended up gay or whatever. And all I've seen around me is straight, basically would be Africans. So it's like, how do you even know? I don't know.
I just think I truly hate how people think they were born in the wrong bodies. I truly don't believe that. And like with me, like I said in my video, I think God don't make no mistakes. And I feel like when you say you were born in the wrong body. I feel like you're throwing God under the bus. So, like pretty much saying he made a mistake when he made you. And I just don't think that way. And when it comes to men transitioning to women, I truly believe you still won't feel like a woman. Like you still won't experience what to be like a woman.
That's what I'm saying. I want to ask somebody who has transitioned, like, what were you expecting? And did you reach your expectations? And on average, do most people feel that much better? Because I've heard about the people who have transitioned and regret it, so that obviously happens. So it's like, damn, like, is this on an average thing? Is this individual? I'm really trying to figure out, like, what exactly do people desire from changing? Is it just the discomfort within the body, or I don't know. Is it from physical? Because when you transition, yeah, it's internal stuff, but like physically is what is being altered for the most part. So it's just like I just really want to know. Like, I'm not against any of that. I'd be willing to know.
You can't get pregnant. You can't experience cramps. You can't get on period. You can't experience menopause when you're older. It's just like you can't really truly feel like a woman for men that want to transition into a woman.
Yeah. Someone said, what's one thing that made you push through college? I don't even know. I wanted to drop out a long time ago. Self-motivation. I just knew I couldn't go back to my parents without this. And it wasn't even about my parents. If I really dropped out and was making thousands off of YouTube, I don't think they would have cared after a while. But like, I don't know. I guess because it's always been a goal to mine. And it's been in my head since I was young. You will grow up, graduate high school, go to college, get a degree. Like, that's just how it's been. Random question, but how do you feel about when someone dies and something tragic happens in general, people want to become detectives without even knowing the facts? I feel like it's very, 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 what's the word I would say? I would call that, I don't think it's disingenuous, but I definitely think it's very overbearing, very outlandish, and very unnecessary to go do your research as to why someone may have died and then insinuate or assume what the actual solution would be to like why the circumstance. Like, why would you do that? People weird, bro. People are really weird. Cause I'm not doing that. Like, that's just doing too much. How do you out a child when they're not old enough to even make up their mind? That's foul. Putting that out there locks that decision for Zion. Yeah. What I would hate for him to do is like a year later, maybe let's say in 3 years, he's here, which is a she. She goes by she. She's 16 and it's like, oh, I don't want to do this. And at 16, you're technically still a child. So I just want to have put it out there because like if he doesn't do it, people are gonna talk. So I feel like y'all aren't educated enough to speak on this. But I also feel like I may not know everything, but I also feel like I can still form an opinion from what I do know and then inquire about what I don't know. That's how discussion works. Like no one knows everything, even experts don't know everything. So you can still talk about what you do know and inquire about what you don't know and then make opinions from there. On My Block is boring. I think On My Block is
a great show.
That's a great show. What y'all mean?
Come on, boy. You know what's boring? Fucking Riverdale.
Okay, Darius. No, you know what's actually boring? What show do I even watch? It's actually like the worst show ever, Ridiculousness. I don't know why the hell they even play that shit on MTV.
I don't know why that shit's still on.
Right. I like Men, but only for the sole purpose of them taking care of me and paying my bills. Your parents could do that though, right?
You could do that.
You could do that. Gay people realize they are gay from elementary school and on. That's what I'm saying. And I've heard a lot of people tell me, like, it was one of my friends from high school. He was just like, yeah, I always knew I was gay from elementary school. So I feel like maybe, I don't know. I used to think like there's no way someone can be born gay. I don't know. I used to think that like a long time ago. But then I started thinking like, because I thought for a while that having your sexual orientation is based off of experiences throughout your life. So I would assume something would have had to have happened when you were younger to make you make that decision. But as I got older, I was just like, I was drifting away from that theory or whatever thought process I had because more and more people were telling me about how they just felt. So it was just expanding my education and figuring out how people think. I don't think it's anyone else's business besides family. That's true. To be honest, as a pansexual girl, I just feel the way I do because I don't have a preference for anything. Like, if I like you, I like you. Everyone isn't religious. That's true too. One thing you hate about the African culture for me is how women are treated. African women are definitely treated like slaves. It's very sad. Sexuality and gender are on a different spectrum. You will never know experience until you've experienced it. Gay and lesbianism is blasphemy. Repent. Sound like shit like that, because that's your opinion and that's cool if you think that. But I also feel like that's still disrespect, if you ask me. I don't believe children have sexual desires. To brand a child gay, straight, whatever is perverted. That is also true. I didn't think of it that way. That is very true. Um, these trans think by putting on, hold on. These trans think by putting on dress and makeup and wig that, and not having surgery to get BBL or boobs, someone makes them a woman. I'm just like, no. Yeah, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I want to learn what do people who want to transition desire within that other race, because I feel like, is it just the physicality, or is it within, or is it both, or can it be one or the other? Um, Okay, some of y'all just on here writing some very wild shit. Going from a white man to a woman is like a white person getting tanning injections to be black. Just saying. Not necessarily. Transitioning from one gender to the other, that's pretty permanent. Tanning is not. Well, it can be now.
They do it a lot.
I hate when they compare being gay to being black. What do you say? Damn, I missed the comment. I'm trying to find it. I don't know what happened to the comment. Someone said, "Are y'all fat?" What? How do you know you want to be a woman when you've never been a woman? Like, how does that, like, what does being a woman feel like? That's another good question. How do you know you want to be something that you ain't never? See, and that's the thing. Think about like this. When we're younger, we say things like, "Oh, we want to be like now." When I was like 12, I said stupid shit like, "Oh, when I'm gonna graduate from college at 21, 22. I'm gonna be married by 24. I'm gonna have kids by 25, and I'm gonna do this because this is the right thing to do. This is how I'm supposed to live my life. Go to school, find a husband, get married, and work, and la 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 la." That's just what I used to say when I was young. Now I'm 22. Ain't no way I'm having no baby by 26. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of feel like you think you like something until you actually start doing it. So it's just like, I want to know what they desire within being the experience of a woman. Is it just the physical, or what is it within? Because within, I don't even know if I feel like a woman within. I feel like I just feel like an individual. The woman part of me is just the external, having breasts, having a vagina, having estrogen and all that. Like, I don't know.
Like this, God really protected me on this. So I just found out. Hopefully she ain't watching. I just found out this girl I used to mess with is pregnant.
Oh wow.
So yeah, and I just like to think about it. Like if we were still talking or like dating, that could have been my baby. So God, big ups to you, because that's a major curveball. Because I do not want to be no damn baby daddy at before 22.
Okay, well that's why I told all my homeboys wrap up them willies.
Twice.
I be trying to tell they guys. They told me they don't know what condoms are. Okay, I done bought all my homeboys condoms and everything. Let me help y'all out. I don't understand why people are so pressed behind something that doesn't affect them. Some people only want equality and acceptance when it applies to them, but aren't open to other groups. So true. But I also feel like I think we should be careful when we say like, "Oh, this doesn't affect you, so you shouldn't care." No. There's white people who will never be affected by oppression, who will never be affected by racism, but will still advocate for Black people who have been oppressed. So I don't think it's right to be like, "Oh, this doesn't affect someone, so they shouldn't care." No, if you have a passion for someone's pain or want to understand somebody's situation and be sympathetic, you can be that way. That's how I feel. I don't know what y'all are arguing about in here. I've heard that transgender people feel away inside, so they want their physical body to represent. Okay. So it is physical for the most part. Okay. The whole point of the LGBTQ community is to accept them and their lifestyle. How hard is that to understand? Darius, what's your YouTube? I'll write it. Got some of the homeboys now. So we've been on here for an hour and some change, and I really wanted to just be on here for an hour. So next time I'm going to make this more planned so we can have more people in here. I think we had about 200 people in here, and I will make sure that we just have a little bit more structure. And you guys just let me know if you guys like this, if you guys like these late night talks or whatever. And excuse me, I'll try my best to drop that video for you guys tomorrow. I'm waiting on the company. Okay. So it has been great. I want everyone to have a good night or good morning wherever you are. Darius, say good.
Peace out. And my video should be dropping in about 5-10 minutes. So if you not tired, stay up and stay tuned for my video.
Yep. Someone said, Chioma, you look older than your biological age. I've been looking older than my age since I was 12, my damn self. So, yep. You guys have a great night wherever you are. I'm not sure what you are. And I will save the live so you guys can get back on here. And I'll keep it up for like maybe about a week. And then after that, I'll probably take it down. So have a good night. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.